Greetings and welcome to Empath Holistic Healing. It's me, Lady Empath, and today I will be uploading two videos. Um, okay, streamline the different things that I do here. So this particular video, if somebody comes and says something, and so just in case that does happen, that's okay. And moving forward, if you want to make a comment, go back and look at these videos to double check everything. And I will certainly reply to you, or I'll put a comment and pin it up there for you, just to acknowledge I saw your comment. Okay. All right. As I was saying, today I will be uploading two videos in attempt to streamline some of the things that I do here on Empath Holistic. Okay. So this video will be hopefully very brief, and it's going to be about the Empath Lemurian roots. Okay. Just station, I feel like I've briefly. I did recently purchase two Lemurian quartz crystal seed stone, as well as the clear crystal of the Lemurian. And so I've been getting a lot of background here. Both my son and I are fighting through like some allergy stuff, okay? But I'm going to be talking about the Empath and more likely than not the connection to some Lemurian roots, as well as the importance of cleansing your roots. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because I realize that crystals are living organisms, okay? Crystals and stones. So they're very powerful, but like us, most of them retain energy too, retains frequencies. And because of all the various different things that they're doing for for the crystal owner, it's like an accumulation of vibrations. It's absorbed, as well as needing a refresh, just like we do. We often need a refreshing and rebooting, and so does your crystals. And so if you're not that, these are some things that you may start experiencing. You're going to feel more heavy than normal. Okay. You may feel like you're not able to break through energy or frequencies. You may feel like you're drawing in a lot of stuff that you can't quite pinpoint out that you have. If you don't already know, but there's always black charcoal. There's always smudging, but you also want to make sure it's conducive to the crystal. Some crystals don't need to sit in water because it erodes. And so you just want to be a little mindful of that and set that intention to clear and cleanse your crystals and refresh and recharge the crystal. Okay, you can utilize frequencies here on YouTube. There's tons of good videos. People dedicate, their service to helping people to cleanse and clear their crystal. Personally, I try to make it a practice of cleansing my crystal collection, especially the ones I use more frequently. I cleanse them weekly. Okay. Now you want to go with your own innate. You want to go with what your guidance is, but because sometimes you may need to do it more frequently than that. And so when I'm feeling like a particular crystal may need a quick clearing, I grab that particular one or ones, and if they're the ones that you can run through cold water, then I will run them through cold water and set the intention. And then using selenite, charge them, setting the intention to charge them, breathing over them, breathing and speaking mantras over them are different ways to charge, reboot the crystal. Not that they're not going to work, but it amplifies their frequencies. It's like a refresher for them, and it's like an intention building in them. Each use is forming at its maximum capacity for you, okay? So this is important because empaths already are predispositioned to absorb energy, okay? And so if you're an empath, you're already predispositioned for that. So if you're already working through your own Akashic things, you're working through anything that you're picking up from the external world, on top of if you're not properly cleansing your crystal, Now you're just adding to what you're already dealing with as an empath, okay? All right. And so, and if you feel, like, okay, this is much, it doesn't have to be. You can simply ask your highest intelligence and tap into the divine within, ask Mother Gaia, divine source creator, your spiritual guidance team, Lemurian roots, whatever verbiage you use, archangels, and they will assist when you welcome them. And sometimes their assistance is very subtle. So set that intention to say, you know what, however it comes, because it may be a thought impression, it may be a visual image, it may be an innate sense of knowing, I think I need to do this to this crystal. So don't try to figure stuff out much with that. Just trust that you've asked and that you're tapping, okay? And so also I want to talk about the video that's to come. This one. The next video will be the light language. It's going to be a possible light language for empaths dealing with, first of all, connecting to our Lemurian roots, disposition and Akashic disposition, perceptions, beliefs, right? With the be able to be more fluid in the ebb and flow of my attention to tap in any channel of guidance, any galactic light language sounds, songs. I will be holding my Lemurian crystals when I when I do this particular video. I'm using the Lemurian crystal. I'll also be using the star ruby. I also recently invested in the star ruby. So I have several high frequency, powerful crystals. I have the Herkimer diamond. I have the Lemurian quartz, as well as the star ruby. These are some major weights in the crystal world, okay? And so I'm gonna channel and use and hold several of those out the entire light language channeling process to see where it goes. I'll also be using my garnet, another heavyweight. The garnet, the red tiger's eye, the red or blood calcite, carnelian. You guys are probably noticing the theme, a lot of fire, red stones, because a lot. And so I'm tuning the engine to channel that to our Akashic record. That's the blueprint, to channel it to our subconscious as well, okay? So that whatever stage and phase we are in our now, empower us so that it's a little more smoother, a little more less resistant, okay? Dealing with all the stuff that were programmed into DNA and the bloodline, right? And so I'm setting intention for that. That's my heart's desire, highest heart's passion. My whole heart in a nutshell is tapping into any benevolent, high vibrational frequencies, assistance that is going to empower the empath to have a more blissful life. For the empath to feel more safe and secure, for the empath to feel worthy. The empath, these are my desires in everything that I do, because what I'm noticing some patterns and things, not only in my life, but in the lives of many that I observe, things I see online from fellow empaths. And so I have made it my heart's passion and setting my attention like, okay, what can we tap into to assist the inner child, the empath, with any validation that needs to take place, any acknowledgement that needs to take place, any releasing of things that needs to take place, any elevation of things that needs to take place on an energetic level, on a deepest cellular and quantum level, that we move forward more benevolent, high vibrational way that's more in alignment with our highest intelligence and our highest and greatest good, and for all that are involved, right? So I wanted to talk about that. Now, in terms of Lemurian roots, more probably will come when I tap into the light language, but I have that some of the history I've researched on Lemuria, and the gist of kind of like who they were and who they are, because it is said that they do exist. They still exist on a higher plane, and kind of, if I could use the word, reside in Mount Shasta, California. And so, and most people who've ever gone there, and that's a goal of mine, is to go there. But most people who've gone there, oh, that is such a magical place. There's something very unique and different about it. And thus, to me, explains Lemurian presence. So, anyway, the reason why I have a feeling there's a connection to the empath and Lemurian, first of all, extremely intelligent, okay, and are extremely intelligent and on every plane, but very loving. And their whole way of life and being was one for all and all for one. There was a different type of belief system in which their world and communities not feel that the scarcity, separation, fight, flight, competitive stuff in which we see in the world we live today, which empowered them to be very giving, to be, sharing, and not feel like their counterparts or their family members or anyone else in the community were a threat to them in any way. And it was more about, we're going to take care of everybody. We're connected to everything, and it's only going to better us as a whole. There's no loss. So they didn't have that sense of feeling that we see play out in the 3D world today, where most people are in scarcity, lower nature, primitive, drive, where it's like, okay, I can't do this because, I got to build up my empire. And if I do this, then, I'm going to lose out. Or, what I'm saying, I need to exploit, people aren't verbalizing this, but in their subconscious, and what's driving them is, taking advantage of others to gain, thievery. I mean, just everything that we see, all of that comes from our lower level. It comes from our lower nature. And it's what we're believing that's driving that, and the trauma that have only reinforced that. The Lemurian, totally different. Empath may have had times or a lifetime, and for whatever reason, in this carnation, it's highly activated in them, even though they don't understand it. It caused the empath some pain, because without the proper knowledge, understanding, and knowing and balance, yes, in this reality, it can be exploited. But with the wisdom that the Lemurians held and hold, that's the reinforcement and the guidance to assist the empath, in a sense that they can still be fully that community, as well as just energetic boundaries and healthy boundaries. Just creating the healthy boundaries, which is a mega challenge for empaths. And I think it's in part not only because of the trauma or the dysfunction that perhaps they came from, but in many lifetimes, by the way, that came to me last night, but not only that, the flip side of it, the positive side, is because their Lemurian nature, just all this other stuff is foreign. It's just foreign. So the Lemurians are very loving, very gentle, very accepting, they're very highly intelligent. So they're operating on a high frequency. So they don't feel those, all this other causes individuals to have to be overly aggressive, overly competitive, no, boundaries, don't respect boundaries, all of those things is because they don't feel threatened. If you don't feel threatened, you don't do a default mode. When you feel free and empowered and you feel all that love, there's nothing that you feel that makes you go, "Oh, I better make sure I sabotage," on a subconscious level, mind you. Because most people, listen, I've said this before, this is not an opinion. A lot of what I share is scientific fact. And so If a person's not really super highly intelligent intellectually or emotionally, and they're not connected, already for the human, 90% of our behavior is governed by subconscious. That's for the human. And then if the human is not tapping in, the divine, becoming self-aware, so that tells you 90%. And then if they have all of that chakra stuff out of balance, which most people are out of balance. I'm saying this with love, but it's reality. Energetic system is just as real as our mistreated, we see the effects. Likewise, energetically the same. And it doesn't matter how much knowledge you know if it's not something that you're doing. Likewise, in the physical, I can know a whole lot of vast information about how to be healthy, how to take care of my body, what I need to do. But if I'm not doing any of those things, my physical body still suffers on some level, having the knowledge and all. So it's not about having the knowledge, it's about using it, doing it, which makes the difference. It's the make or the break. Likewise, energetically, it's the make or the break. It's not about, it's about observation and reality. You can't fully benefit from something in which you are not willing to. You can't fully benefit from something in which you are not willing to do. And trying to, like I said, osmosis, association. That's very surface is of the being. And trying to, like I said, osmosis, association. That's very surface is of the being. So maybe it needs to be said, okay? Because guess what? We want to say and share. It's coming from me. It's coming from my guidance. It's coming from what I practice. Otherwise, I would not waste my time coming onto YouTube or any other platform to upload something, okay? Do I claim to have all the answers? Absolutely not. But let me tell you, there's no one who really does. We're on a journey, and it unfolds as we're ready, as our higher intelligence and the divine source creator and our guidance team are able in their higher frequencies to see that we have phased on some level and we're ready. No matter what we're saying. For an example, I can say that let's say I can say that I want to exercise regularly every day for 30 minutes a day, and I'm ready to do that. Well, I can say it, but what's going to determine the reality, if that's really even real or true, is the essence of who I am, making that intention and actually taking the steps of doing that. That determines how ready I really am. And it's not that I'm bad or good for either way. It's just, like I said, it's an observation. And so anyway, to get back to the point, and so I can get off and then come back on later, prepare a little bit more for the slight language and guidance that I'm expecting to come forward. Empaths, you have Lemurian roots. And any of you that come on here and ever look at the videos that I upload, I highly recommend that you research Lemuria, okay? That you do via YouTube as well as your own external research, that you tap in, that you ask your inner guidance regarding any connection that you may have, and to see if you're led and guided to Lemurian crystals. I was doing some research last night and I found that there's codes on Lemurian crystals, and I actually can see them and feel them on mine. But I also found out that we're summoned, and I was like, that's kind of powerful indeed, that each one summons its owner, that you're going to be drawn to it. And so, for an example, when I purchased it, I really wasn't planning. Now, this is what's unique about how I came to my Lemurian crystals. I wasn't wasn't necessarily planning to go and buy a Lemurian crystal. That day, I was there looking specifically for some other ones I felt like I needed a Lemurian crystal. That day, I was there looking specifically for some other ones I felt like I needed for what I'm going through. But I turned around for some reason. This is what I'm saying about the research I found. I turned around and there was all sparkly and shiny in the big old, box that says Lemurian crystals. And my eyes lit up and I just turned around and I looked at them. And I was like, ooh, me, I'm always excited like a kid at a candy store. And as well as just a full crystal based on its characteristics. And I was like, whoa. And then when I was meditating with them last night, I recorded some guidance that I received that I may share on my next upload if I feel led to do that. Very powerful. And most of you, like myself, you may be in a stage and phase right now that, you feel like you get a lot of progress energetically. You got to change your progress manifesting, and then it seems like sometimes you hit like, okay, why do I feel stuck? And me, just to be more candid and raw and just sharing, I don't feel well, it kind of affects everything for me. So if I'm fighting some kind of a cold and flu on top of, still being a mom, of a disabled person, on top of still being around the kinds of things that I'm around, still working the same kinds of jobs and in my business and everything else, sometimes I don't feel in these moments, I feel like, oh gosh, like I'm about to collapse. Like I can't do anything else. Like I just want to lay there, right? That's why in this title, you see the importance of cleansing crystals. It's the reason why I'm here saying all that. The importance of cleansing crystals and as well as daily balancing, creating a high frequency environment, okay? Because there may be times that we're not feeling all that well and it's going to be a process to get that energy flow right, okay? So sometimes, it's the littlest things. Cleanse your crystals. Put on a speaker or Bluetooth and find something on YouTube and it's a high frequency that you feel drawn to and you don't have to do nothing special with it. Just let it play. Tibetan, I don't know if I'm saying that right, singing bowls on YouTube and bell sounds, and there's different types and methods of high frequency, chakra frequencies just to play, where you just put it on and let it roll. Just like right now, you guys hear chakra frequency. I don't know if you're hearing it, but I have chakra music playing in the background. So those kinds of things will help you, especially if you're feeling like your energetic system is compromised, your physical body is compromised, right? Or you feel like, you're seeing some things about yourself coming up and you're just wondering, when are you going to ever be over something? So it's important for the empath, one of the most challenging things, but one of the most important things is for the empath to be gentle and accepting of self without judgment. Not to say we don't keep growing, but realizing that there is no cookie cut stamp that says this should be now. It's when you're ready. It's when you're ready. And we can set the intention to be with ease, grace, elegance as possible. Everything that have to be like we've been conditioned for it to be. Everything is hard. Everything is hard won. Everything is a struggle. Everything is a, major sacrifice. Everything's pain, no gain, no pain, no gain. Well, I'm going to set the intention to reverse that. I'm going to set the intention to come up with something else. I'm going to ask my guides to reverse that whole thing. No pain, no gain. Yes, change can be challenging and uncomfortable sometimes, but the belief that no pain, no gain, so setting us up to not be able to benefit or grow or progress if there is no pain connected to it. If that's what we believe, then that's what it's going to be, period. Right? Perception is reality. We are co-creating. And if those beliefs are hardwired in our cache and in our subconscious, well, then no matter how badly we want something to be different, the belief system says no pain, no gain. So I'm going to set the intention, even with this light language, to come to infuse with the code, to infuse with time release, to infuse into the cache, to infuse into our bones, to infuse into our neurological system. Belief that says it can be as easy as I want it to be. It can be as smooth as I want it to be. Doesn't make it less of a growth experience. It doesn't make it less valuable. And I didn't even plan on saying all that. But anyway, it's good stuff. And I think it's great because I get information. So anyway, I will see you all soon, shortly. I hope you enjoyed the little brief mini teaching session on the empath, Lemurian roots, cleansing crystals, daily balancing the chakras. Okay, all that's important. That can help with any stage and phase that you're in, especially if you're feeling compromised, especially if you're not feeling well. And so these things could be a booster. Okay, let me just clear my crystals, make sure those are clean. Okay, let me listen to some chakra balancing meditation. Okay, I don't have to do nothing, but let me start there with my energy. And that can be what gives you that oomph and that strength to do whatever else is warranted for you in these moments, okay? All right, so until next time, until I'm back on in a little bit, I send you all love and light. I hope you all send me love and light and blessings. And remember the motto, everything is energy. Balance is key, okay? Everything is energy. Balance is key. Love yourself, honor yourself, take care, respect yourself. Yes, empath, because at the end of the day, you are with yourself. All right? So hot, and so it is. So let it be. Namaste.